Hello students, this is Professor Steve Tash, and I'm going to take a few minutes and talk about our major assignment for Information 200, and it's how to choose an information community for research. It's very likely that you're already a member of an information community. What do I mean by that? Well, it's really a concept we use in the information science field to describe a constituency bonded in a common interest. This community or population share and are linked to various information resources. Prior examples of students of mine that have worked on information communities: home cooking, crafters, vegetarians, vegans, gluten-free community, home cooking community, public library services to homeless, public library programs for immigrant populations, family history or genealogy, animal rescue, school librarian community, high school librarian, tennis community, marathon runners, urban gardeners, LGBTQ+, triathletes, individuals with chronic illness, mental health. Now, I want to make sure you don't box yourself in with an obscure information community that has no research track record. By this, I want you to make sure that you check the various databases for library information science and make sure there's sufficient peer-reviewed article research on your community that you end up with. I want you to use the LISS database along with Google Scholar, and be aware that there are larger communities that might be a better fit with extensive research. For example, I had a student that was interested in white river rafting, but we ended up having no luck in finding any really good peer review articles, so we switched over to ecotourism. So keep that in the back of your mind that we may have to broaden your information community out to find legitimate peer-reviewed sources or scholarly literature on it. Now, I've already talked about some of the home communities that prior students have worked on, but I want to let you know that at the beginning of the Canvas course site, you'll see a section Getting Started, Introduction to Info 200. And inside there, you'll find two complete student communities, one dealing with dog ownership community and another dealing with Zine, Z-I-N-E, publications. You'll find their research paper, all their blog reports, their literature matrix review. So looking at those two, you'll get a better idea of how to proceed. Now, make sure you are really familiar with the main theory of information community by Fisher and Bishop, because you'll be using their 5 characteristics to define and match up your information community selected. And I can't emphasize this enough. You have to be looking for the information needs and the information seeking behaviors of your community. What are they searching for? Where do they search? What are they searching in terms of subject matter? It's all right to give me a few basic facts about your community, but I really want you to emphasize the information behaviors and the information habits of these community members. Here again is the login. Under Getting Started in Information 200, you'll find the assignment synthesis examples, and one is Dog Owners Community, and the other is the Zine Publishing Community. So take a look at what both of these students have done in terms of their blog writing and their research paper writing and their matrix and their book reviews. Everything that you learn in the assignments you can reuse later in your research paper. Now make sure you take a look at the information behavior theories that we cover in the first couple of chapters and the theories that are described. You'll see that there's one for health research, there's another one for recreation, and the Fisher and Bishop is the 5 general characteristics of a effective information community. But there are other information theories out there on specific community behaviors. As I indicated, that you want to make sure that librarians and archivists and others in the library information world are researching communities such as yours that you finally decide on. Don't pick anything that's too obscure that there's no research being written on it. I have a lecture on different tools to utilize, including Google's LibGuides and database searching to help you wade through the information glut that's out there. Now, LISS indexes over 1,000 periodical journals and the full text of 440 journals. This is available online to you. It does have a searchable thesaurus of subject terms. And make sure you take a look at Module Tool over and over, because it defines exactly what you should be looking for. Google Scholar is a great index for finding a variety of materials, including articles, books, and what we call gray literature, which is like conference proceedings. I want you to take a look at the global aspect of a community that you select. I had a student that was doing middle school community, and he got involved in pen pals and how to get his middle school students involved with global conversation. As I said, take a global perspective of your community. Somebody had the animal rescue, and they took a look at how various communities across the world are involved with animal rescue, such as gorillas and elephants and so forth. I want to point out 2 specific LibGuides. These are subject guides, and San Jose State's King Library has produced 2 of them. And I believe one, if not both, are listed under your student menu in Canvas when you lock yourself in. This happens to be a LibGuide from Duquesne University in the Midwest, and it's pertaining to mystery and detective fiction. I had a student that was doing fan fiction community, and this turned out to be a good guide for them. They are subject guides created by librarians to pull all types of information about a particular subject together. Where to find books, where to find encyclopedias, where to find databases, other online resources that are relevant to a particular community. Here again is our infographic that you'll find in the Canvas course site. And everything that you do, your book review, your information sources survey, your literature review matrix, and all your blog reports will end up being utilized for your research paper. It is not self-plagiarizing to use this material. Again, make sure you use the LISS database. That's the biggest database for library information science. I want you to use Google, Google Scholar, Academic Search Database, OneSearch Database, and Ulrichs, which is online at the King Library for peer review checking. Ulrichs is a periodical directory, and you enter in your journal that you're trying to use and to find out if it is peer reviewed. And again, this is what you need to keep asking yourself. What are the information needs of my community? What are the information uses, behaviors, and preferences of your community? Where do community members look for information, and are they successful? Where can they find the information they need, and is it accessible? Are there gaps in the information out there? All these will help you filling out your matrix and your research paper later on. Are there themes of information-seeking behavior within your community? How can information professional better connect this community to needed and desirable information? How are libraries providing information to your community, or are they not? What about academic libraries, public libraries, school libraries? Are they better connected to your community? So wish you luck with this information search. Thank you. Hello, students. This is Professor Steve Tash, and I'm going to